Hi everyone, this is Abhinav from PhoneBench and today we are reviewing the Lava Iris 406Q, available for about Rs 7,000 in the market, featuring the Snapdragon 200 quad-core processor with 1 GB of RAM. You can see the model number right up top. It's the Iris 406Q running Android 4.3 Jelly Bean with Android 4.4 KitKat update pending and a WVGA resolution 4-inch display. So you can see right there, it's a quad-core processor. And you have the Adreno 302 GPU, although it says 305 as the board is compatible with that. And you have the full 1024 MB or 1 GB of RAM available to the system. There's a 5 megapixel primary camera with LED flash but no autofocus. And you have VGA front facing camera as well. You have a 1700 mAh lithium ion battery. And you have a proximity sensor, accelerometer as well as a light sensor, and all three are working fine as you can see right there. Now let's talk about the build of the device. So in the front you have the 4-inch display. On the left there's absolutely nothing, just an expanse of black plastic. The phone is definitely a bit thick. At the top you have your 3.5 mm audio jack, micro USB data syncing and charging port, in which cables feel a bit loose. And then you have something to attach your lanyard or any other charms if you want to. On the right you have the volume rocker as well as power lock and unlock button. They are quite sturdy and offer good feedback as well. At the bottom you just have the primary microphone. Moving to the back you have that LED flash which is not bright, and then you have the 5 megapixel camera, Iris 406Q branding in the middle and Lava branding at the bottom. The speakerphone is actually the main earpiece in the front. The back finish I actually really don't like. This checkerboard finish looks cheap and feels cheap as well, especially due to that sliminess of the black cover. It's not that flimsy, but there is definitely a little bit of flex in the device. Now inside you can see two SIM card slots. The first one takes in your 3G SIM card, but SIM cards are very difficult to get in. And that's your micro SD card slot, and here's the 1700 mAh battery. I really don't like these moving parts where you have to insert your SIM cards or your micro SD card slot. They generally tend to break. The back cover does fit in nicely, but there are still a few gaps left. If you can see that right there, there's a little bit of flex and a little bit of air gap in there too. The phone, however, does feel solid in the hand and doesn't weigh much. Coming to the front, you have three capacitive buttons which do not light up. 4-inch display, as I said earlier, it's WVGA. At the top you have a VGA front-facing camera, proximity and light sensors, and the main earpiece as well as a speakerphone. The touch response of the display is actually quite good. But that's pretty much the only thing that's good about the display. It has very poor viewing angles, which you can see from right there. Colors as well as brightness distort even if you tilt the device. It doesn't have good color reproduction, and the contrast levels are just way low. Let me change some wallpaper so that you can see the color reproduction yourself. Everything seems a bit oversaturated on this display. And even then colors seem muddled because of that low contrast ratio. Let me get into settings. You can customize how the display's color profile actually works using this option. At first it was at standard, which is really horrible, which you can see from there. Vivid makes it slightly better and text seems slightly more readable on this display. You can obviously customize it too if you want to do that, but still I would recommend keeping it at vivid. That's a better option altogether. It has good balance of hue, saturation and contrast, but doesn't improve the viewing angles. They are still as bad as they ever were. The touch response, as I said earlier, is actually quite good. Now let's talk about network and call quality. So this is the default dialer interface. It has been customized quite a lot. Mainly the icons have been changed. Then you have separate call logs for your SIM1 and SIM2. You can separate those if you want to do that. We didn't have any major issues with network or call quality. The sound from the earpiece is quite loud, and the speakerphone doesn't crackle at full volume even. In dual SIM settings, you can customize the icon for that particular SIM card and which SIM card would be used for your data. and voice. Now let's come to the camera. So you can see it's a different camera interface because of the Snapdragon processor. So you have flash modes right there, on, off or auto. Then you have a normal shot, zero shutter delay, which again I would recommend not using. Panorama mode, continuous shot, HDR and anti-shake. The HDR mode actually works better. If you have steady hands, you should always keep that on. These are color effects, not mighty useful. Then you can choose your storage location. You have a timer, silent mode, volume key, which can be used as a shutter key or the zoom key. Again, a useful feature there. Then you have your picture size, that's 5 megapixels at 4:3 aspect ratio. Picture quality should be set to superfine. You have several scene modes as well, including action, night, theater, sports and several others. Then you have your exposure mode, which should be kept at frame average for better images. Then coming to video settings, you can take 720p videos. The videos we got were recorded at 21 fps. This is a front-facing camera. It can take images at VGA, that's 640-480. Picture quality should be set to superfine. Coming to video, you can take VGA videos with the front-facing camera as well. Now let's have a look at some of the samples. This is an HDR shot, so you can see how accurate the colors are. And now you can see the comparison. On the left you have a non-HDR image, on the right HDR. So as I said, HDR should be kept on. You can't take macro shots because there is no autofocus. We expected that to be there. Color reproduction is good, but there's still quite a bit of noise in the images. You can see that distant shot as well. It looks quite good. The camera is actually quite decent given the price. But the flash is utterly useless and low light imaging is not quite possible. Now this is the default headset that you get with the device. These are in-ear style, which you can see. These look alright. They have a flat cable and they have a silver pin and a single button interface to end and receive calls. These sound alright, but for again listening to music, you should get your own pair of headsets. Now let's play some music. Let me get it to full volume. The speakerphone should have been a bit louder, but it's actually quite clear. You can see that right up top. Now this is the FM radio interface. It's quite basic. You have your scanning option. You can record FM as well. So let's start that. It seems you can't stop it from there. So the interface is actually not that usable, not that user friendly even. You can switch to your speakerphone from right there. All in all, it's a very basic app, not much functionality and not much options either. Now we are playing a 1080p video sample natively. So you can see that there is definite frame drop here. Video might not be laggy. Now we are playing a 720p video sample. You can see it's absolutely flawless. No frame drops, no ghosting, no freezing and no lag whatsoever. Now we are playing a YouTube video to check streaming. We are playing in 480p, that's high quality mode, that's the maximum supported. Due to the WVGA resolution of the display, that's 800 by 480 pixels. At the back you have an 8 megapixel camera which uses Sony's Exmor. YouTube video playback is actually quite flawless. Now let's talk about software. So you can see you have that notification toggles right there. Android 4.3 Jelly Bean running on it. You have a flashlight option which would trigger your flash at the back. A very good option, very handy indeed. Then you have Qualcomm Battery Guru, which you see right there. We will talk about that in a while. Let's get into settings. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth as well as mobile data is available, which you can see from there. It's a 3G smartphone. And you have USB, Wi-Fi as well as Bluetooth tethering available too. Let's get into sound. Nothing special here. You can customize your ringtones. That's pretty much it. Getting into display, I've already showed you screen color, using which you can customize the color profile. You have auto brightness available as well. Daydream 2 is available on the phone. Let's get into storage. So you have a 4 GB ROM, out of which 1.5 GB is available to the user. Apps are movable to the SD card, but app data is not movable. So high-end games cannot be installed, at least more than one at a single time. USB OTG is also not supported. In location settings, you can see it can use your Wi-Fi and mobile networks to locate faster. Then you have a ripple lock screen. That's something different apart from pattern, pin and password. Let me set that up, and now let's get to the lock screen. It looks a bit like Samsung's old lock screens, which you see from there. And there you go. You can sideload apps to the phone. Then you have Android Device Manager, using which you can erase, find or lock your phone if it's lost. Now coming to about, you can see that the phone is running Android 4.3 and there is an option for software updates, using which you will get Android KitKat whensoever Lava decides to push that update. Now coming back to the home screen, so you can see right there you have 5 home screens by default, and you can see the different animation. Although the launcher looks stock, it's not quite that. The animations can be customized as well. First, let's get into the app drawer. So you can see from there, you have 2 tabs for apps and widgets. You can't move from the apps tab to the widgets tab directly. You need to tap on them like your old Samsung TouchWiz UI. So you see from right there. And then you have an option to sort your apps as well and show system as well as downloaded apps. Very handy options. These should have been in default Android too, the stock launcher that is. Let's get into launcher settings. So you have your home screen animations, which you can customize from right there. Then you can choose whether to scroll your wallpaper. You can set a wallpaper for the app drawer as well, and you can even hide apps if you want to from the app drawer, and these won't be shown in there using this launcher. Now coming back to the home screen, the customizations don't end here. So you can add a wallpaper, a widget, or even switch the theme of the phone. Let's do that right now. I'll show you how it looks. So you see the wallpaper was changed, and so were the icons. And you can see the tabs up top too. So definitely some customization is there in the UI. It would have been good if the display was actually better, so that these would have looked good on it. Coming to Battery Guru, it actually helps quite a lot in saving battery, especially when you are running on low mode. You can customize which apps are able to run at that point. Getting into low power mode, you can see that you can customize what all should run when the battery is low. The phone can easily last up to 1 day on a single charge, but not more than that. That's the maximum you can get, even if you are a moderate user, since the standby time is actually not that great. We have already preloaded phonewitch.com. It's our mobile website that has opened up. No issues with scrolling there. Now we are loading our desktop website, which you see from there. Let's try pinch to zoom. The text does reflow quickly. There is definite hint of lag there. And again, the contrast is not good. This is your default Android keyboard that comes pre-installed. It does not feature the swipe capabilities of the new USB keyboard. Now let me show you one more customization in the dialer. So as soon as the call goes through, you have an option to boost volume that works on both the speakerphone as well as the earpiece. And then you can take notes if you want to just note down something while you're talking to a person instead of using a pen and a paper. Very handy option. This is the new calculator. It's been customized a bit. And then you have your profile manager, which you can edit, and you can select your ringtones, your volume that you want, brightness levels, as well as which network, whether it's mobile, Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, that you want on. The performance of the device is actually quite good. It doesn't falter in everyday tasks due to the Snapdragon 200 quad-core processor, but it does heat up a little bit. When we were using the camera for the review, temperatures rose from 32 to 40 degrees centigrade within about 20 odd minutes. The display has very poor viewing angles, as I said earlier. The build of the device is actually not that good. The camera is able to take decent shots, which is a bonus, but it's that bad display and heating issue, which is probably due to the software, which takes away a lot from this phone. Well folks, that was a review of the Lava Iris 406Q. We'll be back with lots more. Till then you can watch its unboxing, gaming review as well as benchmarks from right here. If you have any questions, just hit us in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. and have a great day.